Why did chattel slavery develop in America? Imagine a time when the idea of owning another person as property became a widespread practice. That's what happened in America and many other parts of the world. To understand why, we need to look at history and economic needs. In the early days of the colonies, especially in the southern parts, farmers grew crops like tobacco, cotton, and sugar. These crops needed a lot of work, and the landowners wanted a steady, cheap labor force to keep profits high. They turned to enslaved Africans because they could control their labor completely. Chattel slavery meant that enslaved people and their children were considered property for life. They could be bought and sold just like livestock. Laws in the colonies supported this idea. For example, in Virginia, laws said that children born to enslaved women would also be enslaved. This made slavery a permanent, hereditary system that kept expanding. The system was built to make money, and it worked well for the wealthy landowners. They didn't have to pay wages and could keep increasing their workforce through forced reproduction. The roots of this system go back to the transatlantic slave trade. European countries like Britain, Spain, and Portugal forcibly brought millions of Africans across the Atlantic Ocean. These Africans were forced into slavery and made to work on plantations. The trade started in the 1500s and grew over the centuries. When the colonies in America started to grow, slavery became part of their economy. The British colonies, especially in the South, made laws that defined enslaved Africans as property, making slavery legal and accepted. The economic benefits of slavery were huge. By the time of the Civil War in 1860, enslaved people were the biggest financial asset in the United States. Wealthy plantation owners depended on their unpaid labor to produce crops that were sold around the world. Northern industries also indirectly benefited because they supplied goods to the plantations and used cotton and other products made by enslaved labor. Slavery was kept alive through brutal practices. Enslaved people were often forced to reproduce to increase the labor force after the transatlantic trade was banned in the early 1800s. They endured harsh conditions, were denied basic rights, and faced constant violence. This system created a long history of struggle for Black Americans, but it also sparked resistance. Enslaved people fought back through revolts, escapes, and preserving their cultures. Understanding why slavery developed helps us see how deeply rooted racial and economic systems shaped American history and continue to influence society today.